It's a humbling experience going through this process. At this time, been really busy, obviously, and fortunate to have some things unfold the way they did, and just excited to be back with the team here and prepping for the Rose Bowl.
Right to your left, first row, James.
With that, Marcus, there's been some reports about who you're looking at staff. Have you discussed any opportunity with anyone on this staff? Keith was specifically mentioned, but
No, there's no comments on anybody for staff.
Go to Andrew, second row to your left.
So you've mentioned in your introductory that you were going to come back for the Rose Bowl. Mario said yesterday that you're going to be there in the same capacity, play calling wise. Just what was that discussion like between you and Mario as to how that was going to go, and expressing your desire to want to stick around through this?
Yeah, I think it was an opportunity we took together to communicate how we could effectively get it done, and we came in here together and started this thing together 3 years ago, and obviously the conversation was a real one in regards to timeline and stuff like that. And both being professionals, done this a long time, and managing that thing is something we had to consider in regards to all we're doing. And we felt good that we'd go in and do it just as we normally done it, taking care of business back there that we had to do. It's a dead period right now, and got an opportunity to finish it out with the team. And that's a really, really fortunate opportunity I'm excited about.
To your left again, Coach Matt.
With the dead period, does that allow you to coach in this game? Could you have handled having to recruit and prep for a bowl game? Is that just helpful for you?
Yeah, I don't know. I've never done it. Everyone asks, what's it going to be like? How you do it? I said, I don't know. I'm humble enough to say I don't know. It's the first time doing it, but I think the dead period obviously plays into the ability to do it. I don't know if you could do it without a staff and do the recruiting on the road. It'd probably be really, really hard. So, but fortunate for us, it worked out this way.
Back to Andrew.
As far as the experience of having seen a coach kind of go and play calling have to sort of change up the way it was in the Vegas Bowl, did that kind of play into the decision to want to stick around and maintain some continuity at all?
No, we didn't talk about that at any point.
In front to James.
on the throwback lateral in the Pac-12 championship game, Marcus, who drew the inspiration from the Texas play, who saw it, who installed that?
We've been talking about that play since spring, actually, to Panay, because he's so athletic when those guys run around. He's just such an amazing athlete. We've been talking about that play for a long time, and it was a great opportunity to give him an opportunity to get in there. It was fun to see him, how athletic he was, obviously. We know it, but now everyone else kind of can see it.
To your right, Coach Warren.
Marcus, you're now a descendant, for lack of a better term, of the Coach Cristobal coaching tree. What is it that you'll bring from him and his style and this program to UNLV?
Well, I think the thing that we've done here the last 3 years, we all take a lot of pride in, and I think piecing that thing together and being under coach here the last 2 years has been special in regards to how we see things. I think we're together because we saw things in the beginning the same, and I think that the accountability and discipline and structure and a lot of things within the program itself will carry on. I think that's probably pretty eminent in a lot of coaches when you move forward, is you take what has been really productive for you and effective, and you move forward in that. And we're all a product of our mentors, and the last couple of years being a great example of things that we'll move forward with, and then in the past of guys that I've had a chance to fortunate enough to be around and see. And so there'll be a lot of similarities in things we do, and because we believe in it, and it's worked.
Back to Matt, front row.
Looking towards the game that you have to coach, what's just your thoughts of Wisconsin and kind of their front seven and the defense you're going to face?
Yeah, it's obviously a great team. You don't get to the Rose Bowl by not being a great team. They're well coached, they're disciplined, they're physical. They've got a really nice scheme in regards to how they utilize their guys up front. Coverage elements, third down, their red zone plan. I mean, a well-coached football team that's really fundamentally sound. They play physical Big Ten football. We've got our hands full.
Go over to the right, Ryan.
Marcus, what do you think it was about you and Mario that you meshed, with your chemistry and hit it off so well, joining Willie's staff, not really knowing each other?
We've both done this a long time. I think the professionalism of understanding how we saw things, I think we realized right away we saw the run game the same. We communicated protections the same. The attention to detail and things we do in our position groups was reflective in that. There was a lot of commonalities. I think you end up in many of the situations you're in this profession of finding guys within the building that you meet well with, and and it's been that way.
We go Rob, then James.
Obviously, done a lot of work with Justin. I just wonder what the communication process with him and when it was decided you were going to be around this month, kind of what were your thoughts and emotions on that, on getting to go through this with him one more time, and also what you perceived his reaction to be?
Obviously the first thing in my mind was the chance to be around the team and the greater group and finish kind of what we've all done together. Independently thinking through the relationship, which you asked about, Rob, and with me and Justin, and what we've kind of developed within our room, the quarterback room, was obviously something pretty special. And so our communication through that process was open. When I got the job, he was actually, believe, at the Campbell Award, and so more than anything was to call him to congratulate him on that. And more than anything was an awesome opportunity. We both were on two lines. The communication was pretty cool at the right timing. And then obviously talking to Coach first, and then being able to talk to Justin. More importantly, was talking to Coach and to see how we both felt about being able to juggle it, and then tell Justin, and get with him about finishing this thing out. It's a pretty special opportunity we've got, and fortunate to be in it.
Then front to James.
I had a follow on that front, Marcus. Excuse me. With 3 years of experience of working with Justin, just how will that? I'm not sure. Best of luck to you in trying to get a player that good at UNLV, certainly going forward. But what does this experience provide for you? Where obviously it's going to be the first thing you mentioned in recruiting, a first-round pick, all those things. But what does the experience of that provide for you, and what was that embrace like? Obviously, I captured that between you and him after the Pac-12 title game.
Yeah, I mean, when you spend as much time as we do with our guys over the course of obviously years now, the player-coach relationship can be about as close as anything can be, besides being really a kin relationship. I think that the time you spend and the things you do to work through those parts of a young man's life, you're just fortunate as a coach to be part of. And there's been a lot of things that have on and off the field we've shared, and you develop a really close bond. And there's I think you alluded to, more over the player that you may not get, but I think the relationships you do. I have relationships with guys I've coached for, maybe 14 years ago that have all hit me up, and the bond we have, and the ability to call and tell me about their families and their jobs and professions, and really most of the time those conversations you have with those guys, I bet 80% of them now have nothing to do with a game you guys coached. It's the relationship you had. It's the way you got them through something. It's something you shared that made them a better man, a better husband, a better father, a better friend.
Go back down to the right to Warren.
Marcus, I'm not familiar with your Rose Bowl history. I don't know if you've coached in the game before or been there before. Sir. What is that scenario going to be like for you as you end your time here at Oregon and head to UNLV?
I think it's just really special to be with this team at this time. I mean, it's really hard to get to these games. I mean, I look back, if you're asking me, how I see the Rose Bowl myself personally, growing up on the West Coast, this is a special game for guys who've been on the West Coast and grew up around football and have played athletics their entire life. I mean, the Rose Bowl's that's the epicenter for a lot of people where I'm from, a small town in Northern California. I mean, we grew up watching that game, and even when there wasn't even cable, I had 4 channels. I got that one, it worked out. So, hearing Keith Jackson, I think, he used to started it all off, and hearing that as a kid, that's a special time, man, and that's a really special deal, and it's something in I know in my fiber that makes me feel really excited about the opportunity, and humbled, and then the opportunity to do it with this team.
Second row, Andrew.
Coach, the vast majority of coordinators have the aspirations of becoming a head coach at some point in their life, in their career. Obviously, a lot of factors kind of go into that. What factors were there for you, in addition to just this job, but where you are professionally, where you are personally, that made it right to want to take this step into the head coaching world?
There's a myriad of factors that go through if you're doing it right. I think that make you make the decisions to do anything, to make those next steps in any of our professions. I think timing. I think and what the landscape is in the place that you're looking at. There's a great opportunity there. I don't want to get too far into UNLV, you guys, to focus on Oregon, but it was the right timing with the right people at the right place, and I just was humbled and fired up to have the opportunity to even be part of it.
Back to James.
You shared with me after in Santa Clara, Marcus, just how trying this season was for you. If you would like to share a little bit more of just how trying this was for you, for your family, for a lot of things that we just didn't see this year
Yeah,
and what that trip meant.
Yeah,
for
respectfully, I appreciate you asking and understand that. I think there's some personal things that I'd rather keep close to the vest.
well, then what was the trip like because of those personal things to take to Las Vegas with Kelly, with Cruz, to be able to do that when they weren't always there this season?
I think it was, I think regardless of anyone's travel or path they take anywhere, I think a step like that with your family is a really, really special one. And to have my family involved throughout the course of this career and in a tough career for families, it was a really, really awesome opportunity to have them around and take the next step.
Time for a couple more, Matt.
Realize you won't get to coach him, but you recruited him for over a year. Just your thoughts on Jay Butterfield and just who he is as a player?
High character, high output, low ego. Perfect. Great family. Comes from a really good family. Comes from a good background. Coached well by Coach Partridge there, and I think the upside is huge. Has all the skills and all the traits. Continues to add to that room that obviously the lineage of quarterbacks here at Oregon we hold high, and I think he's going to be another one in the chain of guys who's going to be really special.
To the right, Ryan. And we'll end right here with James.
I was going to ask something similar, but the two young quarterbacks you have on the roster, and then obviously signing two yesterday, have all come since you guys got here. How do you see that position shaping up post Herbert, that competition?
I'm excited to see it from afar. I think they're in great shape. I think Oregon's in an awesome situation here moving forward with those gentlemen in that room. Happy to have the relationship we have with them, and excited to see them move forward.
Last one, James.
There would be many here and elsewhere, Marcus, who would say that you didn't necessarily get a fair shake at times from a fan base who, whether it was the pistol or play calling, whatever the criticism was at the given time. Why do you think some of that was? And as you transition to your new role where they were just running pistol, and I'm sure there's some in that fan base who may like it and some who may say, well, wait, it wasn't working so well. How do you go about framing what your offense is as you transition, where some of what that fan base is hearing is the criticism that fair or unfair from this fan base?
Yeah, we just have to work off the results. I mean, you can't always be looking around and worrying about that stuff. We've done this for a long time. We specialize in it. We believe in it. Most coaches do. I've put a lot of time and thought into it. You can't get carried away too much with the outside perspectives in regards to some of those things, and you just got to make sure that you're founded in what you believe in, and you're trying to do things as effectively as you can. I think we move forward saying, we like what we did and like we put on paper, and like the results we've getting ready to play in the Rose Bowl, and had an effective outfit and excited about that.